Okay. There we go.
Are you live?
I should be, yeah. I think so. I'm like waiting to see if it pops up.
Yeah. Let me see what it looks like.
Does it look okay?
It says request.
Request?
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
But yeah, perfect angle and stuff, pretty much.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, everybody's there.
Okay.
I'm like, wait a second. Yay. I like that Bella's just asleep in the background. Okay, so I have to watch through the computer, so I feel like I might be a little delayed with like answering questions specifically. Let me do a quick little tweet saying that I'm live on Instagram. Is there can you link Instagram things?
Yeah.
I'm like, how do I link a live? Oh, wait, right there. Duh. Oh man, I'm so good at this. Here we are. Hello, I am doing well. This is my first time streaming live on Instagram, so it's a bit different than what I normally do. I don't normally do this kind of stuff, but I'm excited to be here. I'm trying to get everything up. Let me pull up the store as well, so people can see. Yay! So here's some fun little stuff. Okay, where do I get to my store so that I can show people what they can get? I'm really good at this. So there it is. There's the link. And I'll also post this in the chat on the live. Okay, so, hello everyone. Now I can look at the camera and actually talk. I'm like, I don't know how to do this. This is my little print container. I have a bunch of prints, which maybe before I actually do the stream, I can kind of like say hello and say who I am, just in case people need to know that, and show off the different prints that I have. So hello, welcome to the live stream for the Streamily Fire Emblem Heroes event. I'm Rachelle Heger. I voice Saline in Fire Emblem Heroes and Fire Emblem Engage, which is the most recent Fire Emblem that just came out in January. I also voice Leanne in Fire Emblem Heroes as well. I have lots of awesome prints. Thank you guys so much for joining. I have this Saline print by Helion White. I also have this Saline print by Daggerfish. All of these are on the Streamily. Thank you. The prints are beautiful. I'm so pleased with how they all came out. I have this Leanne print by Alina. And print by Type Togi. Yay! Oh, I'm so happy you got a Leanne print this time. And then I also have double. Ryan, hi, how are you? It's been so long. I also have these two prints as well. I do love voicing Saline. She's my favorite. I have these two by Kelly. So this is a dual print, but it can also be separate, but they do go together technically. They're facing each other. I thought it'd be cool to have a print that has sort of like, you know, both of them where they're sort of facing each other, because like I love both of them. They're both important to me. My like blonde, big dress, Fire Emblem girls. Hello, Tyran. I loved your drawing. Thank you so much for linking it. Yeah, I have so many pretty prints, so I'm really excited to get started on signing. Let me double check because I believe McGiggles is first for the VIP signing. Very exciting. And you picked the Daggerfish print, which I love. So the inspiration kind of behind this, when I had sort of decided to do this, I do have other prints too of like some other characters, but for now I was just highlighting the Fire Emblem one specifically because I figured that would be best for the stream. Slaline, I love that. So ta-da! Here's a beautiful print of Saline. Oh man, I am loving Final Fantasy 16. You know, I've been telling a lot of people that one of the things I like about 16 is that it's not open world. And don't get me wrong, I love a solid open world game. I'm loving Tears of the Kingdom, which I'm also not finished with. But like, sometimes you just want a game where you just go through the game. Like, you just play through the whole thing and then boom, you're done. And it's not this whole like, oh my god, I'm going to spend hours and hours exploring, which I do love. But I've already played Tears of the Kingdom, and then I played the Horizon DLC, and I just feel like a lot of games have gone the like open world route, which is totally okay. But it is nice to just have like a nice linear game with like lots of cutscenes. I'm kind of like, you know what, I enjoy playing just like through through the like movie of it, basically. Yes, a Golden Deer bag. It's so cool. It has Claude, like the time skip on one side, and then the other, before the time skip, I guess, on the front. Golden Deer is my favorite house. I have played all of 3 houses, 250 hours. I really love Fire Emblem, obviously, if you couldn't tell. Okay, let's see. So for McGiggles, I always get so nervous signing prints because I'm always like, do I have enough space for everything I'm going to write? Also, McGiggles said, working on a Saline fic now, and I'm like, heck yes! I love fan fiction, so I'm going to kind of do this one across the top because I always feel like that's the best way to do it. And I like to do it in bronze usually for this print because I think that one comes out the cleanest. So hopefully you're okay with that. I do have some cats. There's 2 cats behind me. Bella is sleeping in the cat tree right here, and then Kiki is looking out the window like a little derp. I do love all the houses, honestly. I just personally got really invested in Claude. Okay, so 2. I love that you want 2 McGiggles. That's the best. Can you write? Okay, there's a long quote here, so I want to make sure I can fit it. No one, not one soul, can be suffered to good choice. So hopefully that's cool. Yay! It's been your screen name forever. I love that. Oh man, Horizon is so good. That's like one of my favorites. Let's go here. Okay, let's see. Yes, I actually, okay, I need to make sure I mark these so I don't mess up. Yes, Tyrant, I saw your message. It was super nice, and I think I can respond to it. So I'm figuring out how to do that. But thank you so much for sending such a nice message and for the drawing. It's actually your print now. Let's see. So you had the smaller saline from Helion. Ta-da! Very pretty. I know a lot of Fire Emblem characters actors get Heli to do prints, and like I feel like a lot of people have a whole collection of Heli Fire Emblem prints. Oh my god, I'm so happy she's your favorite. She's my favorite too. Not biased. I mean, maybe a little biased, but I love her so much. I loved getting to voice her. I loved working on the game. It was a dream come true as a huge Fire Emblem fan. It was just so exciting to be a part of such a wonderful franchise. So I'm so happy that she's your favorite. Thank you so much for ordering print. Okay. I'm so happy everybody likes my display case. I believe the artist is Moonette for this one. I love it. So it's my Sharpie container thing. Heck yes. I'm so happy to hear you have all these prints of hers. I have not played any of the Xenoblade series. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the chat. Yeah, I have not played any of the Xenoblade series. Everybody tells me I really, really like it, so it's something that I'm like, I probably should play it, because I think it's also not really open world, so that's kind of nice, because like I was saying, I definitely am sort of like burned out on the open world thing. I mean, I definitely feel like Tears of the Kingdom is more linear than Breath of the Wild. And I appreciate that, because sometimes I just want to know, like, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm doing. Not that it's linear, but there's more specific quests and stuff happening, and I feel like Tears of the Kingdom just has a little bit more character, which I really appreciate. I love the sign guy. He is my fave. Okay, so I'm gonna do this for Tyrant. Let's see. Sorry if there's a delay on the stream. Okay, so Tyrant G. And I will write, I will not forget your love. I feel like I'm still getting used to signing prints and writing stuff, because I just am not, my penmanship is not great. So I always feel like when I write the quotes and stuff, I'm like, I'm sorry, I feel like it's so silly. It doesn't look right. Oh man. This, ta-da. I said, I will not forget your love, Dio. Ta-da. There is your signed print. It is so lovely. I love Helly's work so much. for the video, for the drawing. Everything's amazing. So appreciate it. Let's see. I think, there we go. Now I have Marissa says, can you please write, what will I do if I lose you, Alfred? One of my favorite things about recording for Saline was her relationship with her brother, because I have a brother. He was at the live earlier, but I think he left. He said, no, this isn't actually what I want to do. And so it was fun to record her, because I felt like I could pull from a lot of personal experiences with my own brother. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was a really nice experience. I have not played the Fell Xenologue yet. That is literally the only part of Engage I haven't done. I beat the whole game, and I did all the other like DLC stuff because I was playing it. I think I finished right around when the last portion of the DLC came out before the Xenologue, so that's the only part of the game I haven't played yet. Let's see. Oh, this is your one? Yay! Let's see. Yeah, open worlds can get super overwhelming. That's part of my like issue with them. I'm like, I start to get like stressed out. I'm like, oh god, I can't do it. And then I'm like, sometimes, especially with Zelda, I don't know what it is about Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, but both of them, I feel like with most open worlds, there's a little, except for Elden Ring, because I also felt this way with Elden Ring. Most of the time they give you like some sort of like, okay, go to this place, right? But I feel like with Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, there's a lot of like, okay, just go. You know what I mean? Like, there are specific places you can go to, but it's also sort of like, it's pretty, like, just do what you want, which can get really stressful, especially with, like, unlocking the maps. Like, when you can't see the full map, I find that, like, super stressful. Like, the first thing I did in Tears of the Kingdom was go around and unlock the map all over again, because I was like, I need to be able to see where things are, otherwise I'm going to get super stressed. Alright, I'm going to sign this one now. I'm reading the chat. Don't play on Maddening. I don't play anything on Maddening, I'm going to be so real. I'm like a really lame gamer, and I play everything on like the easiest mode possible. Like, I'm playing Final Fantasy 16 right now, and I'm playing that on story mode. Like, I don't want to like, I like a little bit of a challenge, but not so much so that I'm like struggling and then I get angry. Because like for me, playing a game is like, I want to experience the story. Like I was saying, I think that's one of the reasons I like 16 so much, is I'm enjoying the sort of like slow build of this like, oh, I'm getting to like play through this movie. And that's really what I want to do when I'm playing a game, is like I want to experience this like really fun story. And like when there's gameplay that's fun to go with it, that's great. And so when it's too hard, I start to get like, like it was funny because I liked playing Elden Ring on stream when I was doing more streaming for like Twitch and stuff, but I feel like I wasn't actually good at the game, but because I knew it was hard and I went in being like, I'm gonna be terrible at this, I was just like, it's fine. Let's see. Okay, so this is for Marissa. Sorry, I keep getting distracted because I'm talking about games, which I'm sure is a good thing. I'm sure that's what you guys want to hear about. To Marissa. It's hard to talk and write at the same time, because I don't want to say what I'm like, I don't want to write what I'm saying. What will I do? I like this quote a lot about what would she do if she lost Alfred, because I feel like for her, she's so generous and caring with her brother, and she's so nervous about him and like his life, and making sure that she like takes care of him. It's funny because she's the younger sibling. That's one of the reasons why I like her and Allchrist's support so much, because I feel like there's a lot of like similarities. Like they both have this sort of like, oh, we really care about our older sibling, and like if we don't have them, like what will we do? And they really like bond in that way. That was like one of my favorite support tracks. To Marissa, ta-da, beautiful. Thank you so much. I hope you like your print. I'm gonna drink some water. Oh my god, that's how I feel too. For the open world, like getting paranoid that you've like missed something important. I feel that way all the time. I'm like, oh my god, I want to make sure I do all the things. Especially with Tears of the Kingdom, there's a lot of cool side quests, and I'm like, I don't want to miss any side quests. I actually like started looking up like top 10 most like interesting side quests, just so that I can like double check to make sure I'm not missing any cool like side story stuff. Kid Draws, just want to say I love your voice work. Mainly know you from Little Witch. Yeah. Oh, you're getting into animation. I would love that. Oh my god, I'm so happy. I absolutely love Little Witch so much. I do have a Susie print. I'm not like, obviously I don't have any out right now because I'm doing all the Little Witch stuff. Or I'm doing all the Fire Emblem stuff. I'm not doing Little Witch, but I could do Little Witch if people want that one. So, oh man, I know. I love Saline and Alfred's A support. It's so good. They're so good. They care about each other so much, and I love it so much. I too care about my brother. Let's see. Oh man, Xenologue, Brody, I broke you. I'm not ready. It's funny because obviously I record Saline stuff. I kind of know like some of the beginning of the Xenologue stuff because I know how Saline acts, but I don't know anything about the other places. It's funny because I actually, because of that in the game too, like I didn't know anything about stuff that happens like later on, because like Saline kind of like is really important at the beginning with like Alfred and stuff, and then like she's kind of just like a character you can have in your party, and she doesn't have as much story stuff till the end again. So there was like a few like twists and stuff that I had no idea was coming. Like while I was playing the game, there's so much I didn't see coming, and I was so happy about that because I'm such a fan, so I wanted to be able to experience the game. It was very exciting. Heck yes, she's the coolest. Okay, let me see who is next. Okay, so this is for Phoebe, and there's no quote on this one, so I think I can just do like a make it out to Phoebe kind of thing. Unless you're in the chat watching Phoebe, and then we can indeed add a quote. But if not, I will just sign it to you. Let me make sure. I always have to make sure that I'm like spelling people's names right. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, because a lot of people think my name is Rachel, not Rachelle, which is fine. Especially if you're just seeing it. It's sometimes hard to tell. But especially when people write it on like my like Twitter or like an email, I'm kind of like, but I spelled it. It's right there in the display. Like, how do you not see? To Phoebe. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Oh man, McGiggle, that's like one of my favorite things about Saline, because I feel like it's really realistic that she doesn't focus on like, she doesn't feel like she needs to have this like pure joy, pure happiness all the time. It's more like you find the happiness in like the small day-to-day things that she does, like her tea and, you know, like her conversation with her brother, or like even like stuff with like Louis and Chloe and like Etienne, because like you see her like interacting with them and stuff. And I just feel like that's really realistic, because I think there is something to say about like focusing on a day-to-day happiness rather than just like, oh, I want to be happy. It's like, well, that's like a choice. Like if you sit down and say like, okay, today I'm going to be happy because, you know, I saw my cats sleeping and they were being cute. Like, that's like an easy way to say that's like part of your happiness. And I think that's cool that she like does the same thing. Also, I say that and Kiki's like running around like a freak. I don't know if you can see her in the background, but she was like, woo. All right, so there is Phoebe's print. I'm going really slow, but hopefully that's okay. If people have other questions too, feel free to bring up any sort of questions that you have about the game or anything. Let's see. So there's that one. No, that's okay. I'm doing fine. Streamily's like, do this other thing. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I think I'm doing okay. All right. So the next one is for, let's see. The next one is for Daniel. And the instructions say, I love your voice as Saline, and she's top 10 of my favorite characters in the game. Heck yes! Can you write your favorite quote of hers, please? I always like to do power blooms in me. That's my favorite quote of hers. It's one of her best, like, intense ones. Oh man, I love Saline and Fogado support. I think my favorite Saline supports, for sure, are her and Fogado. Because I like that she sort of like comes to learn stuff about him that like she didn't know before, and I feel like it really like opens her worldview, and I think that's like really cool. Kiki! What? It like opens her like worldview of things, and I think that's really like interesting. And also like he's really fun, and I feel like she's a little bit more like, not uptight, that's not really the word, but she has like a little bit more of that like proper, like almost like British princess vibe, and he's much more like casual prince, like hanging out. I like definitely ship them. I think my favorite like supports ships for her are definitely Fogado, Alcris, and Chloe. But I also just like for like enjoyment, I also love her and Louis' support as well. Her and Alfred's support is obviously incredible. She's got a lot of good supports. I'm like, oh man, I love like everything. Yeah, Fogado also reminds me of Claude. I think that's partially why I liked him so much, because he gave me that like kind of like fun, like goofy, like goofy vibes, but then also he has his more serious stuff. Like I really liked his support with Pandreo. I love Pandreo. He's like one of my favorite characters. All right. So let's see, to Daniel. And I'm going to do Power Blooms in Me for my favorite quote. Hello. Man, there's so little content right now on AO3 in general. I've looked. I've been like secretly looking. I enjoy a good fan fiction. Oh man, Pandreo is an S tier unit. S tier. Ta-da! To Daniel. Power blooms in me. I love this one. Woo! Okay. Then we have Leanne, my girl. Oh man. Leanne was one of those characters that, actually Saline was too. When I auditioned, it was like, oh, well, I probably won't get that one. Because I feel like, I don't know, like you think in your head, like what characters you're like, okay, I'm proud of that, you know? And like, not that I thought I did a bad job on my audition or anything like that, but I was like, oh, I feel like that wasn't the read that they were looking for, you know? And then it's like, oh, just kidding. So I feel like whenever I think I'm not going to get something, and that's when I end up getting things, so I should always think that I'm not going to book any work. All right, then we have Leanne. My girl. Oh, man. Leanne was one of those characters that, actually Saline was too. When I auditioned, it was like, oh, well, I probably won't get that one. Because I feel like, I don't know, like you think in your head, like what characters you're like, okay, I feel like that wasn't stay forever, okay? Forever. And draw music notes. Oh, man. I always get so stressed when people ask me to draw things. Music notes I can do, though. That's fine. Oh, my God, right? His party howl. I'm like, party priest Pandreo. He's having the best time. I mean, I guess it's war, so maybe he's not having the best time, but he's trying to have the best time. Him and All Chris support is like one of my favorites. All Chris is like one of my favorite characters. I feel like this is very obvious at this point. So whenever like I did a lot of his supports because I was just like I just wanted to like enjoy everything. Oh man. No, you don't really know what things are when you audition for most video games. It's usually code named and stuff, so you don't really find out till way later on. No stress. Okay. Did you want me to make it out to anything? Because on it it didn't say anything, so I can just write the quote and some music notes and like my signature. But if you want a name, let me know. I can do that. Honestly, the music notes, I'm like, I can do that. The ones that I couldn't do, somebody who asked for the Levin sword, and I was like, uh-oh. I thankfully, because I was signing off camera, I had time to like Google it and like double check that I did all the stuff properly. It was really funny though. Just quote and music. Oh, that's so fair. I totally understand. I put it up top, I think. No, I'll put it up towards the bottom because then her wing won't get like messed up. I also really like Saline and OTA. I feel like they've been like childhood friends kind of thing, which is one of my favorite tropes. I just love when people are like best buds from childhood. Stay forever. Okay. Forever. Yeah. Oh my god, I know. Me too. My heart grew so big with their support. I gave my ring to Alfred on my playthrough. I know I didn't give it to Saline, that's funny, but I think it's because I shipped Saline with so many other people. I didn't want to give the Alear ring to her because it was like, oh, I don't really ship her and Alear. I want her to be with like other people. But I really ship Alear and Alfred because I feel like Alfred is like, OMG. This is my best bud, but also kind of like, you know. Oh, man. I also love Leanne. She's so sweet. She's a good girl. I love her wings. I'm going to draw some music notes. And I really like singing, like I sing, so I think that's another reason why I felt really like connected to her as a character, and I like really loved that. There we go. I did some little like ta-da! Beautiful. I actually did music notes and they turned out okay. I'm like, oh man, I can draw. It was funny because the first time when people requested drawings, I was also kind of like, I hope people realize I didn't draw the prince because I'm not that good. Naka. She's voiced by Laura, who's one of my best friends. I love Laura so much. Oh, I'm so glad! Yay! Thank you so much for getting Saline and Leanne. I'm so excited. There are so many good characters in Engage. It was what a great game. I feel like I also love. I'm trying to think of other characters that I just like really enjoyed because I've talked about Pandreo. I love Marin. I don't know, I just love her, like, her wolf buddy and her, like, cool outfit, and she's just really badass and awesome, and I'm like, heck yeah, she's really cool. I also love Diamant and Ivy so much. They're so fantastic. Their supports were, like, chef's kiss. I, like, definitely ship them. I'm trying to think what else. What other, like, characters that I absolutely loved. Who was my main party? That's a good question. Oh, I love Rosado. He's beautiful. I like Gold Mary a lot too. She's voiced by Maureen, who I also love. Oh, Kagetsu is so good. Kagetsu was like my like one-shot guy. Like he just like boom took everybody out like right away, and I was like, man, I need to use you all the time. I'm like, who? My main team I feel like was like Alfred, Saline, Chris, Diamant, Ivy, Pandreo, Fagato. I definitely used a bunch. I used Veil a lot later on. I'm also like, Oh, you know, it's funny. I never used Seadal. I should have for the dancing thing, but I never did. Also, because I wasn't playing on super hard mode or anything like that, I didn't really need it. I was like pretty good at like just getting through everything. Oh man. I think that's it for all the orders that I have. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I don't know. If anybody else has like more questions, I can answer some more questions. Just to kind of chat a little bit longer. I feel like I had other people that I used a bunch because I'm like not thinking of it. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt too. I was kind of like, I didn't really need him up until this point. So I used a lot of the people from Solm once I got to Solm because they were really strong. And I did use Kagetsu for a really long time. I used Saline and I used Louie a bunch. Louie and Chloe actually I kind of like purposely used because I was like, oh, it's like my team. Like Saline, Louie, and Chloe have to be like a trio. And like my Louie was so good. He like I gave him the 3 houses ring and he was just like so good. And I just like absolutely loved everything that he did for me. He was also like a one-shot kill everybody kind of thing too. Yeah, Bonet, who ended up on my bench too. I feel like I had specific characters from each realm that I kind of was like, this one is this one, this one, this one, and then I sort of like accidentally like didn't use. I actually felt really sad because Citrine and Lapis kind of ended up on my bench, which was really upsetting because I really like both of them, and I just was like, oh, I just don't have time to use you or like the space because like they don't give you enough space. I wish they give you like 15 characters. Usually I think there was like 10 to 12 depending on the map, and I just wish that there had been 15 because I feel like that would have been the perfect number. This is also how I felt about Animal Crossing when I used to play Animal Crossing. I was always like, if they would just give us like 12 villagers, I'd be so set, because I felt like narrowing it down to 10 was so difficult because I always had like 2 or 3 other ones that I really wanted to have and just didn't have space for. Any funny moments that I remember during recording? Well, okay, so there was a couple things that were funny. So when I recorded I love Crom like a lot. Fire Emblem Awakening is probably like my favorite in the series. It was kind of the one that brought me back into Fire Emblem because I had played some of the GBA ones. My brother and I played the GameCube one together, but we never beat it. We didn't get very far because we got stuck like halfway through because it's just a really hard game. Because we kept trying to like not kill people, and then back then, you know, you couldn't set the thing where nobody dies or whatever. So I always play where nobody dies because I refuse to lose characters that I like. So we didn't have permadeath on. We had to have permadeath on because that was how it was back then. And so we got like real stuck. And then I didn't really play the Wii very much. And so finally when I got a 3DS, I was like, oh, I'm going to get Awakening because I really love Fire Emblem. And oh my god, I love Crom. So anyway, the DLC happens, and so Saline has lines with Crom, and I just remember I was like, oh, I like did some of the lines, and then the direction I got was, Saline, you have a crush on Crom, but Saline does not. So tone it down. Because I guess I sounded a little too eager. Like I was too excited to talk to Crom. So I was like, okay. So that was really funny. That was like a really funny moment. I think one of my other favorite like parts to record for was like the parts where they talked about where during Alfred's support. I think it's in the C or the B support. I can't remember which one, but it's when he's digging. He's digging the well, and or like he's like working on he's working on the like a hole. It's not a well, it's a hole. He's just trying to dig a hole because he wants to prove that he can dig a hole. Sorry, I need water. He just wants to prove that he can dig a hole. And so Saline's like, what are you doing? And it's like funny. And I just remember that scene was so funny to me because my brother, when he was a little kid, he's gonna be mad that I'm telling this story, but I'm doing it anyway. He used to do this thing where he would like mimic our dog, because you know dogs do that thing with like their paws when they're digging for stuff or whatever. He would like do that. He would like mimic it. And I remember my dad was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm digging because I'm happy. And it was just really funny. And like, I don't know why, but Alfred just digging this random hole really reminded me of that. So I really like connected to that whole scene, and it was so fun. Oh man. I did give Saline the Crom ring once I got that to that DLC, because I was like, oh, they have to be paired. So the second that I could give him to her. Though I will say, I think Celica, so I had her with Celica for the majority of my run, and then later I gave Soren to her, which I think if I had to pick like who the best one for her, I do think her and Celica obviously is like super intense and powerful, but I also think that her and Soren is really good because he really boosts like the magic and stuff. I always use magic with her mostly. I've used magic with her mostly. I know other people have done builds where she's like more using like her swords and stuff, but I always just she was a magic person for me. It's funny because I played Awakening, and then I didn't get as into, I tried to play Fates, and I really struggled with it. I think I made it halfway through one of them. I don't remember which one it was. And I made it like halfway through, and I just kind of fell out of it, and I wish that I could, I mean, honestly, I might still do it because my 3DS still works. Like, I can still play my 3DS. So there's a part of me that's like, someday I want to go back and like finish all of Fates. Because I liked it. I just didn't beat it. I think I got distracted by some other game or something like that. And then once Three Houses came out, I went back to it. During the pandemic, I played a lot of Three Houses. I did Claude first, and then I did Edelgard's after, because after doing Claude's, I was like, oh my god, I have to see the side with Edelgard, because I needed to know what her storyline was, given what you know from doing Claude's or whatever. And then I went back and did Dimitri's, and then I did the church. Oh, no, then I did the DLC, because I think at that point the DLC had come out. And so then I did the DLC, which was so hard. Even on easy, the DLC was so hard. Oh my god, but I wanted Yuri and Hoppy so bad. So bad. So I did the DLC. And then I did the church route. And I married Yuri in the church route because I wanted specifically to, like, marry for all routes. I gave my ring like to the house leader. That was like the point that I was trying to make. I also like, and I think that was another one where like I feel like I had a lot of like ships for other characters. Like I loved Felix and Annette. I loved Mercedes and Sylvain. I like Hubert and Ferdinand a lot. I also like Hubert with Edelgard, like sort of weird one-sided, so But yeah, I put a lot of hours into Three Houses. I also played all of Three Hopes too. I did all 3 routes for Three Hopes too. Which 3 house? Oh, that's such a good question. As much as Golden Deer is my favorite, I don't think Saline would be in Golden Deer. I kind of think Black Eagles, honestly, because I think that she would, because she has that sort of like underlying like badasseriness about her where she's like, I'm gonna do this because I have to. Like, she has that energy, and I feel like Blue Lions is too cold for her. Like, I associate Blue Lions with like this wintry feel, and I just don't feel like she fits in that. So I think she would go with Black Eagles. Wait, that's really funny. That's so funny that she could be Diamond. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. You use swords with Saline. Yeah. If I ever do another run, which I've been considering, like doing a stream of playing the game, like while streaming it, I think I would build Saline differently just to try it. I'm not very good at like doing the builds and stuff. Like, a lot of people are like so good. Like, that's the thing that they do, is like they like go through and like set up like, ooh, this build and this build and that build, and like they like switch out. But I'm always like generic, and I just go with like what they say you should do. Like, they're like, oh, this is like what she is, and I'm like, that's what she is. Like, same with like Alfred, like being like the lance. I like kept him on the horse and all that stuff, and like Diamant I kept as like sword. Alcris I kept archer. So yeah. Hello, Omega. Yeah, it's my first time doing an Instagram live. First time doing a Streamily, so I'm so glad you're a fan of Little Witch and Fire Emblem. I'm also a fan of those things, so you know. Yeah, I'm like, does anybody else have any other specific questions I can answer before kind of calling it a night? I mean, we started at 5, so go for like an hour-ish, I guess, if people have other things they want to say. Yeah, I feel like I've talked about so much. I'm like, what is there anything else that I can like say? I mean, I've already said that I'm playing Final Fantasy 16 right now, and Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't finished Tears of the Kingdom, so really, like, I can't say I've stopped playing it. I have a bunch of games in my like backlog that I want to play. So, oh, thank you so much. It's kind of faded right now. Normally my hair is a little bit brighter purple, like magenta, but it's faded right now. But that's okay. I'm gonna get it done again soon. Yeah. I'm like, what else can I talk about? Yeah, thank you guys so much. I do like tea, actually. That's the only thing I like. I'm like not really a big coffee. I don't like coffee at all. I hate the taste of coffee. But I drink a ton of tea. I usually like fruity, tart kind of teas. Like, I love like a passion tea, or like blueberry tea. Dragon fruit is another flavor that I have a lot of. I do like a solid, like, you know, Earl Grey, like just a regular like tea kind of thing. I do drink a lot of throat coat because, you know, voiceover, whatever. But I also just really like the taste of throat coat. I feel like that's weird. Not a lot of people like the like licorice-y flavor, but I really like that flavor. But I hate coffee. I don't drink any coffee. And I'm not a huge, like, I don't like soda either. I don't love carbonation. I can do it with some drinks, but like, I don't like the flavor of Coke or like Diet Coke or any of those things. Dr. Pepper, like, I don't like the flavor of it. Saline should visit the UK. I'm hoping to visit the UK very soon. So, I love England. I studied abroad in London and I absolutely loved it. That was like way back in the day, in like 2008. But I like absolutely loved London and I really want to go back. It's like one of my favorite places. So, have I pulled? I have. It's funny. I played Heroes at the beginning pretty like aggressively. I'm really bad at phone games. I played Heroes for a while, and then I tried to once I was in it as Leanne. I tried to get Leanne, never got her. I still don't have Leanne. So that stinks. But so then when the engaged characters came out, I was like, okay, I'm going back. I'm going to try to get Saline because I hadn't played for a really long time. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to go for it. And I got Saline. So I have Saline in Heroes, but I don't have Leanne, which is so sad because I'm like, I feel like Leanne's been around forever. And the fact that I just never got her is like so funny. Oh man. Like what else is there? I do like tea. Yeah, I feel like that's all I have to say. Yeah, I'm not very good at phone games. I've tried playing a bunch of them. I tried playing Final Fantasy Brave Exvius for a really long time because I'm Frederica and that, and she's like one of my favorite characters that I voice. She's so like goofy and like in love with her guy. Like she's so like, oh darling, like it's so funny. Half the time I don't even remember his name because she never calls him by his name. She just calls him darling. And I've said in multiple sessions, like, I don't think that I've ever said darling more than I do in these sessions. But I love her so much. So I tried playing Brave Exvius for a while, but I didn't get very far. I'm just really bad at like playing games on my phone. Like I forget that they're there, and like because in my head I've always like viewed my phone as more of like my phone like for texting and messaging, like Discord, email, like that kind of stuff. So then I forget that there are games there, and then I also get weirdly anxious, like, oh, my battery's gonna get drained, and so then I like just never play games on it. Oh man, heck yes. I'm glad you got Alfred. I was like, when I was pulling for them, I was hoping I would get Saline, obviously, for obvious reasons. But I was also kind of hoping to get Alfred, like, because I love Alfred too. So, yeah, I feel like I really... So, I should go back to it. And like I said, I'm so bad at remembering to play phone games. I think too because I spend a lot of time playing like games on my consoles and stuff that I don't think about it. Like I do this with my computer too because I have a PC laptop and sometimes I just forget that I can like play my games on it, and like I played Power Wash Simulator last year for like a really aggressively long time, and I have a bunch of games like wishlisted on my Steam that I like really am excited to play, like games coming out. I just heard about like Dave the Diver recently, where you're like a little guy that like goes around underwater and you like take pictures of the animals, and then you also like swim around trying to collect stuff because you're like running a sushi shop or something. And I'm like, wow, that sounds like everything I want to do. So I definitely want to play that. But that's also like, it's on the PC and I don't think about like, oh yeah, I can like turn my PC. Especially when I'm like really in it for games on the console. Like I'm really invested in Final Fantasy 16 right now. And I'm really like invested in Tears of the Kingdom as well. So honestly, the only reason I paused Tears of the Kingdom is just because it's so long and I knew that I could finish 16 like quicker because it's just like straight linear story, like boom. I will be sending the prints out whenever Streamily sends me the little box. So after the stream, I'll like request the envelope thing, and I think it usually takes like, well, it's the 4th of July, so it'll probably take like a week or so for the box to get here. And then once I have the box, I send it to Streamily. So usually, like, I think they take about a month or so to get to people-ish. I want to say, don't quote me on that, because it all relies on the post and all that stuff. Also, wherever you are, like, if you're international, that obviously takes a little bit longer. Yeah, so Streamily sends me a box, and then I send it to them, and then they send everything out. So that is how it works. I don't have a Discord server anymore, really. I used to for streaming, but I don't use it anymore because I haven't been streaming. But if I get back to streaming on Twitch, then I will. Though I was thinking about if I do start streaming and I would switch to YouTube. So if I do that, I would open up the server again and like try to make it active again. But I think it's pretty dead at this point. Yeah. See, if you're from abroad, I know it can take a bit longer. So definitely just be patient. Because there's a whole process where they send me a thing, I send it to them, then they have to send it out. And I'm not quite sure how long it takes on their end, but then even from there with the shipment, I mean, I know just from sending things to friends abroad and stuff that especially international, it can take like 1 to 2 months. So thank you. Did I finish Elden Ring? No. That's a great question. No. I think I did the first boss, like that king guy that you face. Like, he's, like, the first, like, main boss, I think. I beat him, and I think that was the main thing I did. I did end up doing, like, a bunch of stuff underground, and I beat some dragon thing in some, like, ant cave. That was one of the last things I remember doing, too. I'm like, what else did I do in Elden Ring? Because that was another game, like, where Elden Ring especially, even more so than Zelda, very overwhelming. Like, trying to figure out where to go, what to do. I was, like, super, like, oh, I'm gonna do the thing with Elden Ring where I, like, look stuff up on how to do it. Because, like, at least Tears of the Kingdom gives you some waypoints and stuff. Elden Ring gives you nothing, which I know a lot of people loved. That was, like, the big, like, oh, just go and do whatever you want. But for me, I need, like, some sort of structure. I mean, I really liked Elden Ring, though. Like, as much as I'm, like, sitting here being like, oh, it was really hard, I did enjoy it. Like, I kind of liked wandering around and being like, where am I gonna go? I don't know. And I definitely got a lot of magic. Like, I was definitely not doing it on, like, hard mode or whatever. Like, I was trying to make it as easy, cheesy as possible. I have not played Hades. I really want to. I own it on Steam. It's just one that, like, I never got around to. But I love the art style. I think it's, like, really cool. I know what's gonna happen is I'm gonna go and I'm gonna play Hades and I'm gonna love it. And then it'll be years later and no one will care at that point, but I will care. I'm like, oh man, I like really missed the hype on this. Though I do know the second one's coming out soon, so there is a part of me that's like, okay, maybe if I like set aside some time, I can play that before the second one comes out. That way I can play the second one, because the second one looks good too. So I'm like, I think for me, like my like backlog stuff, Hades is like really high up there. Life is Strange, True Colors is really high up there because I really want to play that. I really wanted to play the like, I have it, the like Ace Attorney historical one, like the one that's like back in the day and it's like his ancestor or whatever. The one that came with like both of those games. I think they were technically phone games first, but now they like released them or whatever. So I really, really, really want to play that collection of those two games. I really want to play The World Ends With You. That's one that I like started and never finished, and I really, really love the concept of it. I really like Square Enix games. It's just a thing. I do still want to play. I bought at the beginning of the year, because I had pre-ordered it before like anything had come out about it really, but I pre-ordered Forspoken because it looked so interesting, and then now everybody like said it was bad or whatever, but I still really want to play through Forspoken because I feel like I want to experience it for myself. I don't like I mean, I look at reviews and I watch reviews, and I love watching game reviews and reading stuff, and I know a lot of people were really disappointed by it, but I also think that like it's important to do things and make your own opinion, because sometimes you can disagree with people, you know, like there are games that I'm sure are like not that great that are like some of my faves, you know, like that people say like, I don't love that game, and I'm like, whatever, I love that game. Final Fantasy X-2 is an example. I feel like everybody's always like, I don't like Final Fantasy X-2, and I'm like, Final Fantasy X-2 is one of my favorites, so whatever. Yeah, the Great Ace Attorney, that's it. That's the one. That's the two of them. Yeah. I don't have a Steam Deck, and that's something that I actually would really love to get. I think I would really enjoy having one, especially like for traveling and stuff. A bunch of the games that I want to play too seem like they're compatible on Steam Deck, so I think it would be useful to have. So yeah, I definitely want to do it. Hi, Bella. I know. Hello. Hi. But yeah, I think it's been about an hour, so everything's been signed and there's no more orders. So I appreciate everybody who purchased a print, and I think we're gonna head off for the night. And thank you guys for stopping by and asking questions, and hopefully this was entertaining, and I'm sure I'll do another one in the future. And thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you on the next one. I think I have to go over here to like end the thing. Yeah, let's see. Thank you guys. Oh yeah, also just to double check, just a reminder real quick, that the prints will probably go out within like a month or so. So thank you for being patient. And yeah, thank you guys.